Okay, so are you ready to unlock the real power of Excel for data analysis? Let's dive right in.
You've definitely come to the right place. A lot of people don't realize how much more Excel can do beyond just like basic calculations.
Totally. I'm excited to dig in. We've got some great material from this data analysis using Excel guide. Where should we start?
Well, even though we're going beyond the basics, a strong foundation is still important. You know how it is.
Yeah, like building a house. Can't have wonky walls.
Exactly. So we'll just breeze through the initial concepts.
Makes sense. So the guide starts with workbooks, worksheets, the ribbon. That all sounds pretty familiar.
Right.
But then it mentions these different Excel modes like ready, enter, edit. I gotta admit, that's new to me.
Yeah.
What's the deal with those?
The modes. They're easy to overlook, but they really impact how Excel interprets what you're doing, like how it does calculations and stuff.
Okay.
Knowing which mode you're in can really help you avoid those, wait, why did it do that, moments.
Oh, that makes sense. So it's like these modes are changing the rules depending on what you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, clicking a cell in ready mode selects the whole cell.
Yeah.
But if you're in edit mode, you can actually click into the cell and change the contents directly.
Wow, I never even realized.
It's a small difference,
Yeah.
but it's super important for making sure you're inputting things correctly.
That's a great point. I had no idea. It's like those hidden phone settings you never knew about.
Exactly.
Speaking of hidden depths, the guide also talks about making your spreadsheets look good, formatting and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Formatting is key.
Really?
It's not just about making things pretty, though. It can actually help you understand the data better.
Oh, interesting.
Think about, would you rather look at a big wall of plain text or a nicely structured report with headings and visuals and stuff?
The report, for sure.
Right. Those visual cues like fonts, colors, borders,
Hmm.
they all help to highlight what's important.
Okay, yeah.
It's like your data is suddenly telling a story instead of just being numbers on a screen.
So it's like we're setting the stage with a nice, organized spreadsheet. But how do we go from just presenting data to actually analyzing it? Getting those aha moments.
That's where the really cool stuff comes in functions. Functions are what make Excel so powerful for analysis, and that's what we're going to be talking about next.
Okay, let's get into it.
So functions are where Excel really becomes powerful. It's like they're these pre-built formulas that do the hard work for you.
Okay, that does sound promising. I've definitely used RQM and average before,
Right.
but the guide mentions so many more. What other kinds of things can functions do?
Well, let's take max and MIN, for example. Say you're tracking expenses in a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Instead of like scrolling through tons of entries to find your biggest expense,
Yeah.
Max will just tell you the highest value in that column instantly.
Oh, that's really handy. So, like, I could quickly see if groceries or eating out is my biggest expense each month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then MIN would tell you the smallest expense. It can even help you find things you might have forgotten about.
True. Like that streaming subscription I never use.
Exactly. And it gets even more powerful with functions like COUNTIF and SIMIF.
COUNTIF, SUMIF, those are new ones. What do they do?
Think of them like functions with a built-in filter. So COUNTIF lets you count how many cells meet a certain criteria.
Okay.
And then SUMIF adds up values, but only if they meet a certain condition.
So instead of just my total spending, I could see how much I spent at a specific store last month.
Exactly. Or let's say you have a bunch of sales data.
Okay.
You can instantly see how many sales came from a certain region or something.
It's amazing. All this time I've been doing that manually. I can't believe it.
It happens. But hey, it's never too late to learn these things.
That's right.
And speaking of leveling up, have you heard of conditional formatting?
Yeah, vaguely. It's where cells change color based on their value, right?
That's the one. It's a total game changer.
So cool.
It basically lets you apply these visual cues to cells that meet certain criteria.
Okay.
Like you could have sales figures above a certain target automatically highlighted in green, or even use icons to show trends like up arrows for increasing values.
So instead of just numbers, you get a visual sense of what's going on.
Exactly. It's like your data is telling a story.
Wow.
And it's really easy to set up too.
That's amazing. We've got functions that analyze data, conditional formatting that makes it look good. What else is there?
Well, what if you want to find specific information from a ton of data? Like let's say you have a customer's ID number and you want to find their order history.
Oh, yeah.
That's where VLOOKUP comes in.
VLOOKUP. I think I've heard of that. It's the one that pulls data from one table to another, right?
You got it. It's like a data detective.
Okay.
It sniffs out the exact information you need from a massive amount of data.
Wow.
You give VLOOKUP a key piece of information, Tell it where to look,
Okay.
and it finds the data you need from another table.
So if I have a list of customer names and another list with their orders, I can use VLOOKUP to see who ordered what.
Exactly.
Wow, that is so much faster than what I've been doing.
Right. Saves you tons of time.
Now that's efficiency. I also noticed that the guide mentions something called index and match. They say it's a more advanced alternative to VLOOKUP.
Good eye. They're like VLOOKUP's more advanced cousins.
Okay,
They give you more flexibility,
right.
especially if you're dealing with huge data sets or ones that are kind of messy.
So it's like VLOOKUP is great for the quick and easy stuff, and then you've got index and match for when you need the big guns.
Perfect analogy.
Awesome. This is all incredibly cool. But I've got to say, getting all that data cleaned up and ready to analyze can be a real pain sometimes. Is there any way to make that part easier?
Oh, tell me about it. That's why they invented Power Query.
Power Query.
Yeah, this tool lets you clean up your data and transform it before you even start analyzing it.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying I can get my data all organized and perfect before it even gets to my spreadsheet?
Pretty much. You can combine data from different files, remove duplicates, fill in missing stuff,
Right.
all with just a few clicks.
Okay, Power Query sounds like a lifesaver. But we've mostly been talking about single data sets. What about when you want to see connections across multiple tables, like sales data linked to customer info or something?
A great point. That's where data modeling comes in.
Okay.
It's like creating a little model of your data world right there in Excel.
Okay.
You connect different tables based on common things they share, like a customer ID that links sales to customer profiles.
So instead of separate tables, I'm showing Excel how they actually relate to each other.
Exactly.
That's smart. But then how do you actually analyze it all together?
That's where pivot tables come in. They're super powerful.
Pivot tables. Okay, I've heard of those. They're like those dynamic reports.
You got it. You can summarize tons of data, group it by categories, filter it,
Okay.
and even do calculations all on the fly.
It's like taking a huge pile of data and then slicing and dicing it however you want.
Yeah. Exactly. A perfect analogy.
Okay, so for example, with my sales and customer data,
Yeah.
how would I use a pivot table for that?
So let's say you want to see your top selling products
Okay.
broken down by region.
Okay.
A pivot table could show you a table with total sales for each product and then break it down further by region.
So you can go from a giant spreadsheet to a report that highlights the most important trends just like that.
Exactly. And the best part, they're interactive. So you can easily change the fields, filters, calculations,
Oh, wow.
explore the data from every angle.
So much easier than what I've been doing. This is amazing. We've covered so much ground functions, conditional formatting, VLOOKUP,
It's been a lot.
Power Query, and now these pivot tables. I feel like I've leveled up my Excel skills already.
I think we've all learned something new today.
Absolutely. So for everyone listening, you don't have to be intimidated by Excel. Just start experimenting, try these tools out, and see what your data can tell you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. There's always something new to learn with Excel.
Yeah. Exactly. And if you find any cool tricks, be sure to share them with us. Until next time, happy analyzing.